So Mike Trout's one of my favorite players, and it was really cool to meet him and sign stuff. And
there's a very real possibility that you face him one day.
that's the goal. Yeah, that'd be super cool.
Max Rajcic joining us today, man.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to start with the prize joy of Southern California baseball. Orange Lutheran, one of the premier high schools in the area. What was that experience like to go to OLU and spend some time there?
It was really cool. I mean, I made a lot of friends. I still talk to them today. It was great baseball organization. Coach Eric Borba was there, so it was great to have 4 years of experience there and got to play with a lot of good players like Garrett Mitchell, Cole Wynn. The list can go on forever. But it's really cool to be part of that brotherhood over there. And then Orange Lutheran, we didn't get to win a CIF, which was a bummer. I think my senior year we could have won one in 2020, but COVID happened, so coulda, woulda, shoulda. But it was really cool to be there.
Trinity League ball is a different beast. Southern California baseball is a different beast. Not only are you playing with really good talent, really good coaches throughout Southern California as well, but you're also getting to play against other really good schools, the Harvard Westlakes, the J. Sarahs, the Santa Margaritas, all these schools that have legit talent. La Mirada is another one of those public schools that just pumps out guys too. Do you think that kind of like set you up a little bit to continue like progressing in your baseball career just because of the competition level?
I mean, it made me realize that I'm not a hitter because I was facing guys like Jared Jones throwing 98, 100, so I was like, yeah, I'm probably going to be a pitcher. But, I mean, being in that, like, Southern California, having all those teams, like, it's really cool. It's like, it feels like college, like a lower level of college, I'd say. Because you're facing a starting staff. We play series, like 3-game series. We're facing guys that are throwing 90+, I mean, in high school, which is crazy. So, I mean, just being part of the Southern California baseball made you want to, like, be better, work harder, because you had to.
You mentioned that you kind of decided like, okay, I'm not going to be hitting anymore. Well, I guess we'll get to that. It wasn't necessarily fully your decision, but when did you start pitching? Like when was that? When did that saga start?
I mean, I always pitched in like Little League. I pitched, but I mean, I really started taking it seriously probably my junior year of high school. I mean, I just felt like that was where my future was, and that's where I wanted to go on with my future and start pitching. And kind of like once the pitcher started throwing curveballs and sliders, I was like, all right, I need to maybe just worry about pitching. But I really liked hitting. I mean, I worked harder at hitting in high school. I had a batting cage at home my dad made, so I'd be in there a lot. Got a lot of hitting lessons. Never did really pitching lessons at all. So I really wanted to be a hitter, but God said not today.
So you changed. You essentially shifted your mindset, shifted everything. Okay, it's time to start throwing this thing. So like when you switched to junior year, in your junior year, to really focusing on that, was that when you kind of realized like, okay, I kind of have a future in this?
I mean, I always believed myself that I was going to be in the big leagues someday. I mean, hitting or pitching. But junior year, I mean, I had a really good year. We had a good year at Orange Lutheran as well. But I always believed in myself. I mean, third grade, I always told my teachers, like, "Well, what do you want to be for when you grow up?" And I told them, "Oh, I'm a baseball player. I already am a baseball player." And I always just had that mindset,
We have a couple of things that I've pulled up for you here today that I want to show you. Mm-hmm. So it's on this monitor here. This first image, I need you to explain what in the world this thing is.
Damn, how'd you find that?
I did some digging, man.
That's a little tasty. So that was I think my junior year actually at Orange Lutheran, and I went, the name is Big Tasty, and we were on a road trip to Northern California to play Valley Christian, and we found that like a gas station, and then that just stuck around, and that was like our prop for the year. That was our good luck charm.
I know that name, the little tasty thing. Like I kind of stalked you on Instagram a little bit, not gonna lie.
Oh.
I had to deep dive, and I saw like tasty, this little tasty thing. Like, what is that? Where did that come from?
I don't know. I mean, I was like junior high. We had a group, and they just called me Big Tasty, and like we made these shirts in junior high, so we all wore them together and thought we were so sick, and then it just stuck around. I don't know, and all of a sudden, like junior year, it came out about that, and I don't know, so it just stuck around, and that was a little tasty.
And it was like a good luck charm kind of thing, like a rally starter, right?
Rally, yeah.
Because you're taking that to like NHSI and like all that, right? Like
Yeah.
that made the whole trip.
So yeah, it got its own flight. It's got the window seat and all that. So it was pretty cool.
And I have one more picture from semi this era. I want you to explain this moment.
That's I think in 8th grade. So that was a travel ball tournament in Arizona, and that's Mike Trout, obviously. But it was really cool. I grew up in Angel fan. I live like 15 minutes away from Angel Stadium, so I spent a lot of time at that stadium and watching the Angels. So Mike Trout's one of my favorite players, and it was really cool to meet him and sign stuff, and it was really cool. That's my best friend too. Still my best friend, right next to me right there. His name's Nate. We live in the same neighborhood. We went to Orange Lutheran as well.
What? Where is that?
That's at Tempe. That's in spring training. Yeah.
So how did you get on the field then?
One of the parents used to work with the Angels, so he hooked it up with us. It was sick.
That's awesome. There's a very real possibility that you face him one day.
That's the goal. Yeah, that'd be super cool.
What would be your attack plan to try and get out Mike Trout?
I'd throw up in the zone because I've watched him a lot, so I watch the pitchers that do well against him and they throw up in the zone and pound him in. But if you miss down, he's
over.
Gonna get you. So yeah, that'd be my attack for sure.
That's awesome.
3-2 from Rajcic is a slider. Strike 3 called on the outside corner. Windish knew it.
I want to switch gears a little bit to college, man. You ended up going to one of the premier schools, obviously, especially on the pitching side. Why UCLA?
It was my first offer, actually. So UCLA was a dream school of mine. I don't know why. I didn't have any family that went to UCLA, but always liked their colors and always saw them on I played NCAA football and I'd always be UCLA for some reason. So they were the first school to offer me, and I was like, so hard to pass up because that's my dream school. And so my freshman year in December, I committed to UCLA, and I didn't have to worry about college or any of the other stuff.
That's wild because a lot of times you'll see kids are starting to commit way earlier now, over the last 10 years.
Mm-hmm.
You'll see guys commit their freshman year. They'll change their sophomore year. They'll change their junior year. Was there ever any doubt that you would? I mean, obviously sometimes that's coaching changes things like that. But with Eric Borba being by your side and knowing that Savage was going to be there, was there ever any doubt that UCLA was the goal?
No, I always wanted to go to UCLA and be a Bruin. Coach Savage does a really good job of developing players. I mean, you can go down the list with Garrett Cole, Trevor Bauer, Caprillion. We just had a guy just get called up. I played with him actually, Nick Nastrini. He's on the White Sox. I mean, we've had a lot of pitchers have success in the big league, so I really wanted to go there and stay kind of close to home. It's like a 50-minute drive without traffic, but LA, it could be an hour and a half or 2 hours according to traffic. So I really wanted to go there, and I really liked the area. It's close to the beach, but I really loved UCLA.
And since you committed so early and you kind of already had it in your mindset, were there any other schools that were still trying to hound you?
Nah, right when I committed to UCLA, no other school talked to me.
Wow.
So I don't know if that's a rule or an unwritten rule or something, but no colleges talked to me, and yep, I went to UCLA for 2 years.
That's crazy. 2021, you guys entered as the number 2 team in the country.
Mm-hmm.
What was that like?
It was really good. I mean, we had a really good team. We had Matt McClain. We just played a guy, Noah Cardenas. We had a lot of good players and really good staff. Because the COVID year, a lot of guys returned, so we had a pretty good older team. And obviously, we didn't finish second. So, I mean, rankings don't really mean anything until the only rankings that matter is the end of the season rankings. So we had a good season. We made it to the regionals in Texas Tech and lost the final game, but it was really cool to, meet a lot of guys and learn how to go about your business. Nick Nastrini was a big guy. He really had a routine and taught me this is a business. It's kind of a job, and it was really cool.
And that's your first year. And you're coming, like you said, out of the COVID year. You lose your senior season. You only play 8 games or whatever.
Something like that.
But so then you go to UCLA, and then you're coming out of it, and then you also get this ranking. Was that kind of a whirlwind of everything just coming together at once?
I don't know if I'd say I was used to it because, Orange Lutheran, we're always nationally ranked, and then I go to college and we're ranked number 2. So it was oh well. And then the next year, we think we might have been ranked like 25, so that was a little different. But it's cool to be ranked early in the season, you know. But I mean, like I said, it doesn't matter until if you make it to Omaha and you win it. That's the only ranking that really matters. So obviously, we did not do that.
UCLA, big school, obviously, both in scope and physically, just like a really big campus with a lot of stuff going on there. Spent 2 years there. What was the craziest experience you had while as a UCLA Bruin?
Craziest experience? I don't even know if I'm allowed to say. I'm just kidding. I mean, going to Texas Tech was really cool, and pitching in front of the Texas Tech, I got to close out the game. So, I mean, their fans were a little crazy. I have a random story from the regional where we won and beat North Carolina, so we had to play another game the same day. And we wore our blue jerseys the first game, and I left the grays, and I was all sweaty because during BP we wore the gray jerseys. So I put it at the fence, and I go back to get the gray jersey, and it's gone. And I think some Texas Tech fan took my jersey, so I had to wear like I think number 49 or some random number. So if you ever saw a video of me pitching in the regionals, I was wearing number 49. So that explains why. So yeah.
And that never got recovered. Like
never got the jersey back.
Someone has it.
I was expecting a fan to like saying, "Hey, number 20, I got your jersey," but that didn't happen. But I'll find that jersey one day, I hope.
If someone showed up to a Springfield Cardinals game with that jersey and asked you to sign it, would you sign it?
I'd call the police. I'm just kidding. Yeah, I would definitely sign it. That'd be a cool story to get the jersey back. Maybe get the jersey back because that'd be super cool, and tell my teammates about that because I was like, I wore the jersey. Like I knew I brought it, and
it's also like sweaty. So someone took a sweaty jersey off of
game used jersey, I guess.
Yeah. I wonder if they even know if it was yours, if they just saw it and just
saw it, took it probably.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
They don't even know what they got. Fast forward to 22. 14 strikeout game against Washington State. What do you remember about that day?
So all my best friends actually came. They all finished school because UCLA's in a quarter system, and we finished late. So that was my first time. All my buddies were there, so I had to put on a show for them, and they came to the right game. You know, that was the most strikeouts I've ever had in one game, and just like all my stuff was working. My fastball, curveball, changeup, and slider, and just I had to put on a show for my buddies.
It wasn't a perfect game or a no-hitter or anything like that, so this is a little different. But at what point in a game like that does it hit your brain like, okay, like something's kind of going here? When did it hit you that you had started racking up those strikeouts?
I think the first time through, I noticed like all my stuff was working, and when I have all 4 pitches, I feel like it makes your life and job easier when you have 4 pitches working. You could throw it for a strike whenever. So I think the first time through, so like after the 3rd inning, I was like, okay, this could be a lot of strikeouts. Because as a pitcher, you want to get a lot of strikeouts, obviously. And I feel like when you start thinking about strikeouts, that's when you don't get strikeouts. So you got to let them come. So I just,
So you're like fighting that urge actively to not think about it?
I try not to count in my head or, just go pitch to pitch and just worry about this pitch and then worry about the next pitch after. But can't control the future or the past,
Set, he throws, and it's swung on and missed. Got him with a changeup downstairs. Corner, strike 3 called. 3 up and 3 down in the top of the first. Nasty pitch from Max Rajcic.
You mentioned that it's nice to be ranked. You are ranked 13 in the Cardinals system. How do you deal with that? Like, is that something you're happy for? Is that something that's kind of like a scarlet letter? Is that a curse? Is it a blessing? What is it to have that number 13 tag on you?
I mean, it's cool and all, but I mean, rankings don't really mean anything. Spring training, we talked about rankings don't mean anything. If you do you and you do your business and perform well, you can make it to the big leagues. There's a bunch of big leaguers that weren't even ranked, and they're in the big leagues, playing every day. So rankings don't really mean anything. It's cool and all, but you can't really look too much into it.
Is that something you have to kind of explain to like your family that like, hey, this is cool, but like I'm not really thinking about it?
I think they care more than I do, to be honest. But I mean, it's cool, shows you the hard work you put in. But I mean, it doesn't really mean anything until you get there or you do something to actually that means something.
I want to talk about this a little bit later on, but as a precursor, you have closed and you've also now started, obviously, and you're in the starting side of things here. What's your game day routine now as a starter, especially as a pro starter? What's that look like? Take me through your day.
Ooh, I mean, I really like starting. Starting's my favorite, but I get very anxious and I got nerves all day. Like right when I wake up, I got like butterflies in my stomach, and I just I eat like a big breakfast, get a lot of protein. So I make like 4 or 5 eggs, get some like chicken apple sausages, eat that. Get some like oatmeal to get your carbs in, and then I'll eat like an acai bowl. I'll order like an acai bowl, DoorDash it, get more carbs, and then eat like a light lunch because I don't really like eating too much, and then have like a protein shake, and then do my stretch. I stretch like an hour and a half before the game, and then just do my prep work before and go through the scouting report with our pitching coach and our catcher, and then talk about our game plan, what we want to execute, what's our focus, and then about like 20 minutes I'm on the mound warming up, and then like 15 minutes of playing on the mound, throwing your pitches, throwing a couple of batters, like the 3-4 hitter. I'll like work on like what I'm gonna throw in sequence, and then I get back in the dugout, and then it's game time.
And how has that evolved for you? Because I imagine your day looks fairly similar to most starters, right? Maybe like the breakfast is a little different and things like that. And maybe I know some guys take naps or whatever. But how has that evolved for you? And do you feel like you're at a good place to where like this is how I want to prepare for the game? This is like the habit that I have to build.
Yeah, I've been doing this for the last year and a half. So I really like this routine that I have, and I'm going to stick with it until, stuff doesn't go right for me, but I've been having success with this routine, so I'm gonna stick with it. I'm very superstitious as well.
Was that something like? Is it completely different than it looked like at UCLA?
Yeah, UCLA was kind of like didn't really have a plan.
just
It'd
show
be
up.
like whatever the dorm was feeding us, I'd eat that and have some maybe like spaghetti or pasta or something. But yeah, this is way more complex, and that's what happens. You become a big, you get drafted, and you got to start making your routine. You hang out with people, and you pick their brains about their routine, and you add stuff, and it's pretty cool.
You've been lucky enough to do some big league camp stuff, and you've been able to be there. What was the most surreal thing that you experienced while at big league camp?
It was really cool to be around like the big leaguers, seeing Goldschmidt and Nolan Arenado, Sonny Gray, and all the Lars Nootbaar, all those guys. It was really cool to be around them and ask questions and just see how they go about their business. Like I don't want to be like I've been talking about like routines, but like their routines are super like detailed and professional, obviously. But it was really cool to ask Sonny Gray, Lance Lynn, Miles, and about like how like they go about their business and how they prepare their body every 5 days. So it was really cool.
I know I get this a little bit on a very, very different scale, but like there will be times in this industry where like there's somebody big, like someone like you're saying, like there's Paul Goldschmidt. Oh my gosh, there he is. There's Nolan Arenado. These are guys that I watched growing up, things like that. How do you build up the courage to go talk to those guys? Like, is there like a little like hype up in your head where you're like, okay, I am also one of these guys. Like I am a pro ball player. Do you have a bit of that imposter syndrome that you kind of have to get over?
No, I mean, they're really easy to go in, and they want to help you. They want to be the best organization, make the players better in the minor leagues so they can have a better team in the major leagues. So like it was really easy to ask questions, and felt very comfortable talking to them, and they're just like, same guy, playing baseball, playing the same game as me. So a lot of common stuff too as well.
Do you have that when you're on the mound too? Like, is it there an ease into it, or do you kind of like step back and be like, I'm facing X, Y, or Z when you are facing one of those bigger players?
You can't have that mindset. I feel like if you have that mindset, I mean, it would be cool to face, Mike Trout, and I might be like, wow, I'm facing Trout, but it's competition. He wants to beat me, and I want to beat him. So I feel like it's just a competition. You don't want to give up a bomb. But
yeah,
it's really cool to have that battle.
Another beauty from Rajcic, his third strikeout, back-to-back Ks to start the fourth.
All right, we're going to do this thing called Cardinals Quickfire. We're going to do this in every one of these this season, where I'm just going to fire out a bunch of questions that have nothing to do with each other, and I just want to see how you react to them. So let's go ahead and start with this. I have heard that you have turned into a connoisseur of Latin music. What is your favorite Bad Bunny song?
Calita. I don't know if that's how you're supposed to say it. I mean, I just like the beat. I don't know what the songs are saying, but I mean, I really like the beat of the music, you know, and I really like the rhythm, but I do like some Bad Bunny. How'd you know that?
I can find anything on you, bro.
Digging everything.
Yeah, I'll find
Jeez.
everything. We mentioned that you were a hitter. You get to UCLA. Savage says, nah, you're done. Time to just start throwing. If you could bat one more time against one of your fellow teammates, who would you pick to try and
Right
get a
now,
hack
my
off?
teammates?
Yeah.
I mean, my last at-bat was a home run at Hart Park, so my last career at-bat was a bomb, so I mean, I would have to pick someone, Tink, Takoa, one of those guys. I mean, they got electric stuff, and I just want to see, you know, like what it's like to see 98 again, because it'd probably feel like 1,000 miles per hour, and then they throw their curveball or slider, and I'd freak out. So, you know, or Edwin Nunez throws 100. So I don't know. I wouldn't want to face any of those guys, to be honest.
How fast or how long do you think it would take before you could feel comfortable enough? Like, how many days of hacks in the
Years.
cages? Just not even worth
couple last offseason, I was swinging. I just kept rolling over, and the next day my wrists were so sore from rolling over. So I know. And I also grab a baseball bat as a golf grip. So I do like the grip right here. So I just know I'm a PO now. So I'm doing
It's
the
over.
golf grip with my bat.
It's over. I heard that you write down 3 goals on January 1st every year. What are your 3 goals this year?
Yeah, I like to keep that personal to myself. You know, I think I'm the only person that knows my 3 goals. So I mean, I like to keep it to myself, and then yeah.
Cool. What is the best thing that Coach Savage ever told you?
Just have fun and compete. You know, you gotta go about your business, and you're playing a kid's game. You know, but he really focused on like throwing 2 out of 3 strikes. You know, the 1-1 count is really important to win. Instead of being 2-1, you could be 1-2, and makes you. I really take that to heart and try to get to 2 strikes before the hitter gets the 2 balls. You know.
I feel like you are fortunate and unfortunate in the same way with your last name. One, in that it's hard when you read it, but you get the benefit of being able to rhyme it.
Right.
What is the worst pronunciation you have ever heard of your last name?
Yeah, I've heard a bunch. Rat kick, ratchet. I don't know. Ratchet. Rajay. Rajcic. I've heard a bunch. I mean, I've heard it all my whole life. My announcers, you know, even like at Amarillo, they announce it wrong, and it's like, okay, whatever. I'm kind of immune to it, but it's pretty easy. It's Rajcic, like magic, you know, or tragic, but
It's everywhere. I think stay on the magic side. I think that makes it a little
magic's
easier.
way cooler. I also could do like magic tricks. If I had a deck of cards, I could show you some tricks.
We got to get you some deck of cards then.
I'll show you.
We'll get you back on here.
Yeah,
We'll do some magic with Rajcic. Write that down. Like I mentioned earlier, NHSI, the high school tournament, you get to travel and all that. What do you remember most about that?
Just being really connected with your teammates. I mean, we wanted one goal, and we all wanted to win the championship. So I thought it was really cool. We all connected and bonded. I mean, being in the hotel with your whole team, and then, you know, going out to like dinner with your team, it was really cool. And just like bonding with your brothers, it was a really cool experience. I really loved that tournament. And we were supposed to go back in 2020, but obviously COVID happened. We were going to do a little 4-peat, I thought. I think Jay Sarah was going, right, that year?
They were going that year.
Yeah,
I believe they were. And then that would have been like their first trip.
It would have been fun to play Jay Sarah that year. It would have been a good series for sure.
Those are always great games.
Mm-hmm.
Those are always great games. Okay, I want you to be as real with me as you can. Like I said, you've closed, you've started. Because of the differences in those, do you ever get bored as a starter on days you aren't throwing because you know you're not going to go? Like, is there ever a day where you're just like, I kind of wish there was that magic of I might be able to get in today?
Closing is really cool because obviously it's like a close game. You get that adrenaline. But, I mean, starting is what I like and what I like to do. Starting, like, you got your whole routine. You know what day you're gonna throw closing. You know you're gonna get the 9th inning, but you don't know if you're gonna throw this day because if it's not a close game, you're probably not going in. But both are cool. But if I had to pick one, I really like starting.
You got to play with Team USA, which is pretty awesome. What was the best thing that you ate while playing with them in Panama?
Panama. Ooh.
Or during the Panama games, just in general? Because you got to get all
not
over the place.
Breakfast. I didn't like their eggs. Their eggs weren't that good. We had like a really good like chicken dish. It was like a lemon chicken with some rice and some vegetables. I remember and we also got a lot of pizza, like Pizza Hut or Papa John's.
How does that happen? You guys are in like these exotic places.
I mean, you just get sick of like the chicken, and it was a lot of chicken and rice. But I mean, we had like Pizza Hut when we won the gold medal game, and that team was really stacked too. It was really cool to be on that team.
That's so bizarre. That's so bizarre that you guys that's how you celebrate. You don't get like to go out and do this like, incredible thing after.
Well, we won the gold medal, and then we basically had to get onto the plane after. So yeah, it was like boom, boom, boom. Partied a little bit. We had like a fireworks show at the hotel that the parents bought, and it was really cool.
So you're just walking onto the plane with a pizza box. Last one I have for you. Are you ever going to grow out the mustache again?
That was just a playoff thing. I'm not a big mustache guy. I don't even like facial hair that much. I shave before I pitch every day, or every time I start, I shave. But I mean, that was a playoff thing. So if playoffs come, might have to grow it out. I did throw my best outing of the year last year with it, so maybe I should stick with it.
Maybe get it back.
My mom's not a big fan of it.
That's all that really matters.
Yeah.
Max Rajcic, thanks for joining us, man.
Thank you.